I just dig that countdown track. What
Yeah,
about you,
man.
Rob?
That's the jam.
It is a jam, and it's like the closer it gets to zero, the more exciting it is.
Yeah. It gets you pumped up, ready to get out of this election funk and talk about
Yes.
some car audio, man.
Hang with your boys. We're not talking no
Yeah.
politics tonight. The only
Yeah. You
thing we
don't
talk
have to
about,
yell at you don't have to yell at your friends or family.
yeah, we can
We're
all
just
get
all here
along.
about talk about audio.
Only thing I'll say about politics is just remember it's broken into two parts. Poly is many, ticks, bloodsuckers. And two, you got to grab life by the yourself and make things different. Don't expect somebody else to do it. I'm talking to you, all y'all people out there.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Do your own thing. Don't worry about what other people are doing.
Yeah.
Word up.
Yeah. And
What's
vote no
going
on every
on?
tax. That's just the last thing.
We
Oh man.
we rocking here. This is 12-volt talk, and I don't even know what the episode is, unfortunately, because my laptop crashed, and that's why y'all saw a different screen there. We on like 75 or something. Does that
No,
sound right?
dude. We're like wait, I just edited the last one, I think 83 or
Oh man,
84.
we're in the 80s already.
Yeah, yeah,
We're almost like Biden. I
yeah.
didn't. I didn't go there.
Oh
Sorry.
no.
no, no, he's only 78, so we're fine. Anyway, what is going on, people? We just decided we were going to hang out with you guys tonight. We know things have been kind of difficult the past many months due to COVID and due to all the stresses in life. And Rob and I don't have any guests tonight, but we do have some lined up. But we figured we'd just go live and check with everybody and talk about some topics, some things that we have going on, in our labs and the things that we're doing, some videos we're making, stuff like that. And we just wanted to kind of reach out and talk to the audience, see what's going on with you guys.
Yeah, man, and especially we can talk about the Williston Audio Labs lithium woes. Derek is cursed when it comes to lithium, y'all. I don't know if you know this or not.
They don't know the whole story, but there is some lithium woes around this joint. So let's
Where
let
did it start? What the first ones? The headways? Did it start with the headways?
yeah, the headway. So I only put one bank of the headways together. Um, and I got a balancer for the headways, the HA02, I think is what it's called. But I didn't realize until later that you're not supposed to keep that balancer on there because it continually drains the battery. So I was wondering why every time I checked them, I'm like, why are they down at like 11 volts now? Why are they so low? So, yeah, that was a problem. So
And then
then,
that
go ahead.
what the ding dongs were
So
next?
yeah, so then I loaded up the ding dongs, and you guys probably saw the video where I called the nuts bolts or the bolts nuts, whatever I called, and everybody was complaining, and I'm like, that was a dumb, big dummy mistake. I know what a nut is. I know what a bolt is. I just said it wrong about 500 times. But I set up two banks, right? Each bank is 40 amp hours. That was 80 amp hours. Big shout out here to B Hand Beats 843.
Yeah, that's Brandon Hanna, our
Yes,
dude.
sir. Brandon Hanna up in the hizzy. Thank you for the super chat, sir.
Whoa, my
Um,
oh, this is the first time in 12E Talk history.
what?
Do you see that? I'm about to turn down my gain, man.
Oh wow.
Need less
Too
gain on the
loud?
amp.
Are you serious on that, Ken? Are you just you pulling strings
Yeah,
and fingers and stuff around here? We don't need to be pulling no fingers.
yeah,
He don't sound that loud to me.
yeah. Well,
Big
maybe
D
I'm
is
just
a
too
nut.
animated.
I see
Yeah,
one of the comments. Big D is a nut. Yes, Big D is a
yeah.
nut
He's not wrong.
and a bolt. So back to the yin long. So yeah, I bought two banks of the yin longs. I had, um, gosh, I'm forgetting the guy's name now. Anthony Jude from Toolmaker. There we go.
Yeah,
Toolmaker make me some links and some real nice terminals on the end, so you could have a bunch of goodies as far as zero gauge. It's like 10 or so connections on each end. And I think I showed the video. It was the Taramps MD 8000. I think I hooked up to it,
yeah.
and that Joker, it sucked the life out of those those batteries and went down to like 11 volts. I'm thinking, I thought they said this was good for like, 8,000 or more watts without any charging.
Yeah,
John
and that was
Hill,
two banks, right?
yeah, it was two banks. It's 80 amp hours. Because each one's 40 and they run in parallel. So that's 80 amp hours. And so anyway, I just thought maybe one of the cells is bad. And then anybody who's been watching my videos lately has noticed that my voltage is dropping too quick, even on small amps. I told Rob, I said, I think I got a bad cell on one of my AGMs. So I just got all kind of battery woes. All kind. And most recently,
And at the
the
crescendos, the crescendo.
most recently I got a Titan 8. And you guys may know what that is. It's the new Exos Power lithium batteries. They're tiny. It like fits in the palm of your hand. I think I might have showed it in one of the previous weeks. But I was playing around with it and it was impressive. But I left it hooked up to a head unit for maybe a week, maybe 5 days or something. And when I say hooked up, it was literally just hooked up to the memory. So the clock would memorize, stay, and it wasn't turned on. None of the equipment was turned on. And I came back to it and it was at 1.4 volts.
Yikes.
And I'm
Yikes.
like, this thing doesn't have a low voltage shut off on it. And so I contact Access Power, like, no, it doesn't have a low voltage shut off. And I'm like, okay, do I have a dead battery here? No, it'll be fine. Just charge it back up.
Yeah.
So I did, and it did charge back up, but that's just, you know, that's an open concern for anybody out there who's trying to get one of these to put under your hood, because there was a, I believe they were making some specific to go underneath the hood because they had an additional case with additional packing and stuff around it to kind of give it that some extra protection for going under the hood for the temperature. But those are 10 amp hour. The Titan 8s are 10 amp hour.
Yeah.
And like Rob said, you can have high C rate, you can have all this stuff that's so great about lithium, but it's still 10 amp hours. So if you're
Yeah.
draining, with just the memory from your head unit, with just from your battery in your car, all that stuff takes milliamps plus milliamps plus milliamps. You let it sit for a few days, your battery gonna be dead.
Yeah.
You
It's
gonna be
gonna be
going
dead.
or not even and that just be click click.
I'm
So
I'm interested to see how that I'm interested to see how that works out for people. We know T Fade has one in one of his vehicles. I want to see reports from the people out in the field, like what are these doing in your car?
yeah, I sent him a text immediately after it happened to me. I'm like, dude, I said, have you noticed this in your car? He's like, well, not yet, but I did notice it was down to 11 volts one time when I went and cranked it. I'm like, yeah, well, you might want to keep a charger on it. But yeah. So anyway, that's two of the woes. So the other, well, yeah. So I got voltage dropping. Yep, and somebody's talking about me being negative tonight. So I'm kind of being negative. My voltage is dropping, and I'm mad.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get a handle on all that. But I think I got a plan. And
Need more
Rob knows
volts on the amp. Need-
need, need more gain on my voltage and my amperage. But
Uh,
I've got a plan to make that work better. So that's coming up. And yeah, I won't say anything else negative tonight.
oh no.
Count on that.
I've only got negative things to say, I think.
Well, Rob, you just talked about some K9 subwoofer being so great.
Oh man, we'll get to that in a minute. We'll get to that one in a minute. I do want to talk about something positive. Dude, you pulled some strings. You got them to come up with some more bully amplifiers. That thing showed out on that
You
last
know,
video.
it's kind of funny, Rob, because I think I sent you a picture when I got that amp in,
Yeah.
and I was thinking just like everybody else, it's like a Tar Amps copy and whatever. But that amp is much bigger dimension wise than a HD 3000, a Tar Amps HD 3000. So it's got I didn't have the because I sent the other one to Sam Bear Vids over in the UK. And by the way, he's still working on that video everybody's asking about us doing the tar amps versus the audio pipe, and he's redoing the audio pipe, and he's spent so much time and all that. I can't wait until we get that back and are able to do a follow up. But people probably forgot about that by now. But he has put a lot of time and effort into that project and had some other things going on, personal things going on that's kind of held him up. But it's going to be epic, if I can say, in the true sense of epic. It's going to be epic to see what this dude did. He is incredible.
Yeah.
That dude, I can't believe somebody hasn't pulled him into their engineering slash something, in the U.S. to do stuff, because he's just, his mind is just, I don't know. It's like something out of this world. You hear him when he talks. He talks so fast and goes through
Yeah.
things so fast. It's like, dude, it's because his mouth can't keep up with his brain.
Yeah.
But
That happens to me, but I'm slightly dumb. Like he's genius level. So
yeah. There's a lot of people in this world that can talk quick and say a bunch of dumb stuff, but he's not one of them. But kind of going back to the bully thing. So when I got that amp in, it did look like a tar amps a little bit, but it was size wise, it was like the size of a HD 5000, not a 3000. So I'm like, well, dude, and it was heavy.
yeah.
When we got to pick it up, I'm like, wow, this thing's got a thick heat sink. Third air, thank you, brother.
Yeah, have fun shopping, bro.
Yeah, appreciate that. And so right off the bat, I was kind of like, dude, this thing's probably legit. And you guys probably saw in the video, it says 3,000 watts RMS on the outside of the amp. I'm like, who does that? Nobody puts RMS numbers on the outside. I mean, they may put 3,000 watts and it may be a 3,000 watt amp, but they're not going to put RMS or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I sent to Rob as soon as I finished testing. I'm like, dude, this thing is legit. And then of course, I sent you the results before I actually hooked it up to the subwoofers and played with it, because that's always, numbers are great and everything, but listening to it with speakers and watching those eights literally lift that box. It was like the box was jumping up, and the box is double layered 3/4 inch. So it's 1.5 inches of sanded plywood all the way around. So it's thick. It shouldn't be jumping. It was jumping. Those subwoofers were like, and I got excited. And Rob knows you're this way too. When you, you're bummed when you maybe, like, we'll go back to the Orion 2100 way back when it was such an iconic amp and something we were so excited about testing, and you test it and it's like didn't live up to any of your expectations. In fact, it's really like a gut punch. So you have something like that happen, it brings you down. But then you have something that's like a surprise. I'm like, wow. Because the other bully amp was just, it's kind of average. It did almost its rated power and all that stuff. But this one, I was like, dang.
Yeah, you tested the other one first.
Yeah.
And I remember you shared the link, and I was like, hold up. This one says Slayer on it.
Yeah, and it was right at Halloween.
This is the one you should have bought.
And dude, I had so many ideas of things I want to do about the video, but I got the amp literally on, it was either Thursday afternoon or Friday. I can't remember. But it was so close to Halloween. I'm like, I've got to do this quick. Whatever I'm going to do it quick to get the video online. But so, of course, I don't know how much you check on this, Rob, but before you do a video, do you check on Amazon to see what the stock level is, to see if there's any like problem with the stock or anything before you release it?
I'm not on that level yet, man.
No, but what I'm getting at is you don't want to really make a video of something new that people can't buy, right? Yeah. You want to have it something available. So I saw there were 7 or whatever when I made the video, and of course it's in the screenshot. So to me, it's like, well, of course they'll restock or whatever. But no, they sold out of those 7, and then so I sent the email to Bully. I'm like, look, I tested this amp, and you guys went out of stock, and people were mad at me. I said, what you got? They said, oh, thank you for the video. We got 25 of them. We'll put them on our website. $199, free shipping. So we can't ship them to Amazon because it'll take like 2 months for them to get listed. So with all that said, there was some more available. I don't think there's anything truly, truly special about that amplifier other than the cool name, the Slayer. It sounds good on the subs, and it was reasonably priced. It's nothing out of the ordinary. But I don't know. I thought it was cool, and I thought it was cool what they did too to make those available for you guys. And I don't get any benefit from it because it's through their website. There's no affiliates or anything. It's like I don't care. Just whatever can help you guys out because it was never a plan of mine to do something that's not attainable. Hey, let's
Yeah.
test this and get everybody excited. Sorry, not available.
Yeah. But also, you don't want to be the bully salesman.
Exactly.
So go get it if you want.
I
If
mean,
it
I have
looks good to
tested
you.
two of their amps, but then the main
Yeah.
reason, and obviously if I would have seen the Slayer first, I would have done the Slayer amp first and then probably not done that other one. But it's just one of those things.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Sometimes you get one, you try them all.
Anthony, looking for a decent SPL meter. So we have tested well, three. I won't say all three because there's other ones we haven't tested. But the mini SPL, is it mini
Yep.
SPL? Mini SPL, the Term Lab, and the
SSA.
SSA wireless base meter. The SSA and the Term Lab are both pretty expensive. I think the SSA is still like $400. The Term
Yep.
Lab is a minimum of 550 or 600. And
Yeah,
then the
because you
mini,
don't get a meter with the 400, do you?
that's right.
Yeah.
Or you get the meter, but you don't get the clamp.
Oh, so you could technically get it for 400 if
Yeah, I
you
think
just
it's
want to do
400 for
SPL.
the yeah. And the mini SPL meter is what was in.
229
Oh, it's okay. I thought it
or
was still in the hundreds.
249, one or the other.
249. So the main drawback to the mini SPL one is it just pretty much gives you the numbers. The
Yeah.
wireless one has got some extra cool features because you can do all this stuff through your phone. You can actually video through your phone while it's showing the SPL stuff on the screen.
Yeah.
The only reason I didn't do it that way is because it only allows a certain frame rate, and we use higher frame rate for filming subs, but most people don't care about that stuff. But they do have an app which I think it works for Android and iOS for that $400 price range. That's probably the one overall would be probably one of the better ones I would think for people that maybe if you could get a few friends to help go in and
Yeah.
split it up a little bit. I think that one's pretty cool.
Yeah, that the mini SPL is cool. Yeah, you can do peak hold. It's very convoluted to get it to do peak hold. You can tell the frequency and the voltage that it hit those numbers at, but it's you only have one screen and you got three buttons, so
Yeah, it's pretty. And
it's
I see Matt Stark mentioned here in the chat, and I forgot the SPL Lab because he's shown that on some of his recent tests,
hmm
and it does the THD, which that is very very useful. So yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
would.
mind having one of those for amp testing, but once you buy all the pieces, you're looking at like 800, 900, $1,000.
Yep,
Still cool though.
got to know somebody, Rob.
Yeah.
Somebody got to hook Rob up.
All right, man. Let's talk about it. You called it.
Oh, I did. Everybody laughed at me and didn't believe me, but they tend to forget that I tested the whole line of the K9, the 8, the 10, the 12, the 15, and still to this day that 15 blows my mind. And I didn't tell this story much, or I may have told it here before, but I sold the 15 in an SPL box. It was just a generic, prefab box off of Amazon, but it matched the specs of the sub, and it's the one that I used when I hooked it up in the yard and everything and played it, outside, and that thing was just rattling windows in the neighborhood. I'm like, this thing is sick. So I sold it to a buddy. He had a friend that needed a sub. Sold it to him. I gave him a super good deal, like $150. It cost me a lot more for all that. But anyway, he told me, he said the guy hooked it up to like 1500 watts, and he said it was in a Corvette. He said you could not even hardly sit in that Corvette. It was so loud. But he said he was thumping it so loud that it actually blew the box up, or it separated the box. The box came apart. I said, no doubt, man, that thing was thumping.
You sold him a faulty box. That's what it
Yeah, I
sounds.
sold him a faulty box. He had to re-glue it, and that Chinese glue, I guess, wore out. But yeah, my opinion on those subs has always been wow. For the money, especially that you're spending for them, They're
Yeah.
crazy, crazy good. But
They
yeah, so
just
tell us about your test and your cheap SPL meter and all your haters.
yeah, well, let me start with the K9. We'll wipe this out first. The reason the K9 got a there's several let's just kind of document what happened with the K9. This is how it got a bad name. EXO was one of the first people to test the first version. He gave it a pretty glowing review because it's a pretty good sub. They had glue issues with the coil. They come out with a V2. So now keep in mind, EXO's already been burned once for this and had to come back and make another video. So the second video, he really puts it to the test and puts it to what they say it should handle. And obviously, it doesn't handle that much power. Flash forward to what Rockville starts a series of K9 comparison videos. Like it all started falling downhill. And then they have a live stream where they're going to live compare this video to, or this sub to a Sundown sub. You guys know how Sundown tests their subs. So this is not going to be a good situation. EXO's on the live stream. They are, they're being complimentary to them and all this type of stuff. And that was a debacle. If you guys didn't see that, you definitely know what went on there. So all this is the background, and then K9 really, really got a bad rap after that. So that's the background. Now we're starting fresh. When I tested this sub, or when I tested all these subs, I could tell instantly which sub sounded the best to me. And it was clearly the Savard Rap 12 and the K9. Sundown, all Sundown subs I've tested have sound pretty good, but this one didn't actually sound as good for some reason. And I knew that if it passed this 1 minute test, people were going to be up in arms. I knew once they seen the dB meter that they were going to be up in arms. The reason I use that dB meter, if you guys don't know, anything under 120 decibels is not accurate on a pressure sensor. You really need a mic to read that. That's why I'm using that meter. I do have a calibrated mic as well, but I wanted something that I could easily show you on screen. And I tested it in my house because I know you guys don't mind to just base out your neighborhood in your vehicles, but I'm not going to do that. I got neighbors and I respect them. And it's very, very hard to go off site with a subwoofer, film every test I need to do, switch it out, go off site again. And even when I'm off site, sometimes, cops will get called or whatever the case may be. So that's why they were all tested in the house for a shootout.
I think the test was very thorough and very good. So I think the ones that are complaining are just,
It
I
was
don't
it
know,
was
they've
mostly
been
the
watching
the
too
base
much
head. It was
TV.
it was mostly the base head guys, and I
Yeah.
get it, but you can extrapolate these results onto a
Yep.
into a vehicle.
Yep. I agree. I mean, yeah, I think you would have liked nothing more to have been able to throw each one in your car and all that. But I mean, you're talking something that already took you, literally 25 or 30 hours to complete would have taken three times that long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. Those who don't make videos versus those of us who do, it's real easy to sit in the back of the class and complain about the teacher and stuff that she's not doing right or he's not doing right or we're not doing right. But when you do it yourself and see all the work that's involved, when people nitpick at stuff, it's really frustrating.
Yeah. The most frustrating part is when you act like we didn't think about this. Like I I know most people don't think because I do it to you too, and it's like we thought about these things before we done the video and we done it in a certain way. We didn't just like do the video like, oh, let's just this is how I'm gonna do it haphazardly.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sorry, I was reading through some of the comments and I was laughing. Should have come
Oh
tonight with
yeah.
your Rockville swag. And I think we missed El Fuego. Um,
Oh
thank you,
yeah.
sir. 12-volt talk. High
I'll
five. 12 days. Are you going to do it? I'm thinking of doing a 12 days of something, but I'm not going to tell you yet.
yeah, I probably will. I'll probably do something again. It'll be fun.
Sweet. And then the Wuhan flu and the Wuhan glue. That was
Oh
funny.
no.
Here we go. I do have a question. Last night I connected 7 speakers in parallel to a Bluetooth amp chip and it did not burn based on Ohm's law. It's OHMS. I thought I was going to burn the chip amp. Now I'm confused. Well, I mean, if you didn't crank it all the way up, if it was barely on or not to the point where you were actually loading the amp down that much, it'd be okay. If you're, I don't know what the ohm load of each of your 7 speakers. That is kind of a weird number too. Seven
Yeah.
speakers instead of an even number.
And people forget those, like your speakers, are reactive loads. So that, and if you watch my latest video, you'll see I show the impedance rise and the frequency rise. All that changes as music plays.
Yep. I remember, based on kind of what Rob did with that test back way back when Car Audio and Electronics tested some subwoofers, and people complained that they weren't in the optimal box and all that stuff because they
Yeah.
all kind of did the same box. And then so the next test they did when they did the comparisons, they had the manufacturer provide the box and send them the subwoofer, mounted in the box. And so this is your test here. So that way there's no complaints of
Yeah.
one versus another. But the other way to look at it is if you want this particular box, which is the best subwoofer. And I think that's another way to look at it, which is the way that you kind of showed it.
Yeah. And it's like not every person's going to build a specific box for every. And the thing that people didn't look at is every single sub, the recommended ported enclosures fit within that box specs. So everyone except for the Sundown, which their largest enclosure was 1.8. But I did say that in the first video, but every one of them did fit within that
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's true.
believe it or not, I did think about that before the video started. Like, hey, maybe I should try to pick a size that'll work with all these subwoofers.
Yeah,
Who would have thought of that before they made a video?
not many people. They wouldn't have thought that far ahead. But yeah, anyway, I went through some of the comments and I saw what some people were saying to Rob, and me as just somebody who makes videos and understands the frustration when you spend all this time and effort and then people are complaining about little diddly stuff. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
but
I don't care. If it's actually a valid, like a lot of things that I do are because people suggested it in a video.
sure.
But you need to make sure that you're coming at somebody the right way.
Yeah, it's got to be constructive, not
Yeah.
destructive.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
you can have 1,000 positive comments and you have one fool get up there and say something that just
Yeah.
ruins your whole day. Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
Rob's
you know what's funny?
rattling the house.
I was getting, I've been getting a few days off work because we've been having product issues, like where we can't get our product in. And my daughter had a Zoom call. I didn't know. So I'm sitting in here, I'm just busting this woofer. And she's like, "What are you doing?" Like, well, I'm testing this up. And she's like, "Well, I'm on a Zoom call." She's like, "I got my microphone off, so it doesn't matter." But like, oh, I guess I should have checked.
Oops. That's okay. Zoom doesn't record anything that low anyway, so it'll
Yeah.
be all right. They could do the vocal range.
Did I miss? Wait. Dude, look who's here.
Oh, Craig Harrison.
The
Craig, I have
homie.
been meaning to reach out to you, dude. It has been so long.
We need to get him back on,
We
man.
do. We
I
do need to
miss
get him
Craig.
back home. Yeah, man. And I apologize for not reaching out to you sooner, but I was thinking about that just the other day. I'm like, it's been a while since I've talked to Craig.
Yeah.
Hope you're doing well. Hope you were doing well. It's good to see you here. And it's early morning where Craig is. He's either on the eastern side of Australia or the western side. I think the last time he had moved from one to the other. Which,
Yeah.
Craig, if you're still there, tell us which side are you on, the east or the west of
Craig is
Australia?
everywhere around the world except for the United States.
Yeah, exactly.
He's somewhere. BNN, I'm going to be working on it this weekend, but well, we still got to
Oh, he's
get, we're
dodging
close.
COVID in Singapore.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
Lord. Okay, so no Australia. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Big word of the day.
Extrapolate.
Yeah. Make
What's
sure I
up
didn't
with the
miss.
Jensen back at Walmart? So what's up with and that's actually a pretty good point there. What's up with Dual becoming Jensen? Did Jensen buy Dual? Is that what happened?
Um, does Walmart own Jensen?
I don't know.
Because Dual is a Walmart brand, right?
Some of y'all need to help brothers out here because we didn't do our research before we started because y'all hit us up with a good question. But I've noticed that pretty much the ones that were dual models last year are now Jensen models, and they added the DSP and the little Bluetooth thing and the little RGB LEDs that kind of look kind of cool.
Yeah. That amp, I was very like I like that amp. I like the features of it for the price. I was thinking like, man, I should do like 5 of these in my son's when he gets a car, put 5 of them in there. He can do a little LED light show.
Yeah, it'll be cool. The only thing that I'm still not a big fan of is the gain through the Bluetooth.
Yeah. I
Uh,
guess you can be pretty precise with it like that, but
you can, but the gain is not set proper when you get it, and it's
yeah.
also set to high pass when you get it by default. It's not set to full range or low pass. So it tells you in the manual you pretty much have to go in and you have to set it up through Bluetooth to make sure the things are set right. And then the other thing that's a little bit confusing is the gain versus or the volume versus the gain. So the
Oh yeah.
volume is actually the gain, and the gain is actually the sub boost. So that was confusing, also.
Yeah, like the gain being an actual volume knob on Brazilian amps.
Yep, that's right.
I had the Stereo Integrity HT18. Remember when they sell those for like $150?
Yes, I do.
I should have kept mine. I didn't get a lot of playtime with it though.
That guy was it the Life of Bliss that does the home audio stuff. He's got two of the 24s stereo integrities in his home theater.
Oh, didn't he
Oh,
have the big like the 10,000 watt amps?
yes, one of
Yeah.
those. It's a gosh. If I didn't think of it now, I could have thought. But it's like a knockoff of some really expensive like theater amplifier they use in the theaters,
Yeah.
and they sell them on eBay and you get them direct from China, but they're like a total knockoff. And they're still pretty expensive. I mean, still around $1,000, maybe 1,200 bucks,
Wow.
but it's like I think it says it's like 2,000 watts by 4, and it's bridgeable or something crazy, which I don't know how they're getting that out of a
I
wall
I
socket.
I'm interested in that because that's what 10 amp 15 amp service.
Well, I think they're 240 volt, so
Ah,
and I also think that even in one of his previous videos, one of the guys in one of the home theater forums has got a an AP, and they actually tested one, and it did pretty good numbers. And I
yeah.
think he showed the graph and everything in this video because I was thinking that would be cool to do an amp down in one of those, but somebody actually did the full gamut with the AP already. I'm like, oh, don't want to step on them toes because
Them home theater guys, they got money.
yeah, my
Like,
pinky don't raise up quite that high. They're gonna say you didn't test the damping factor and the
yeah.
THD and the. That's
They're
just how
like,
they
did you see
sound
the
too.
section where I put do it bumps though? That's all that matters.
We got to do a shirt like that, right?
Yeah,
My
man.
wife did not like that idea. She said that's the
Yeah.
worst idea ever. Why would you do a shirt like that? You're
What?
teaching your kids bad grammar.
Yeah. Well, you've already had one that's the big D Wiz one
Yeah,
that can be misconstrued.
true. Exactly. We're just going uphill here, aren't
Yeah.
we? Or going downhill, I should say.
I'm curious though, like, do they must run some kind of capacitors, like super capacitors inside those amps to get them to perform so well off such low
Yeah,
amperage.
yeah, I think they do. They do the Tony D thing.
Yeah. The Craig Harrison Jeep build inspired my next old school build. 4 Ryan 275XX and 2 150SX.
Yeah, man, we need to go back through, and I need to remember better to do this during the week and stuff. Like when I don't have anything to post, I need to share his videos that he's put up. Some of the older ones he did, like showing his Jeep and some of the other stuff. Because man, they're just so good. They're just
Yeah.
so discovery quality. It's like how are more people not seeing this? I mean, I know that YouTube has got a lot of videos and a lot of times it's really hard to weed your way into the good ones. But man, his videos are they're just a whole different level. They made us all the rest of us look like amateurs.
Yeah, yeah, they were really really good. Hey, Dave, you tested one of these, right?
Now, I think Ryan tested a twisted.
Mm.
I can't remember. Those aren't available. Oh, coming
Whoa,
soon,
whoa.
2021.
Uh oh.
Uh oh.
Oh man. Okay, you got to come on it. We need to scoop. What's
Yeah,
going on?
you gotta definitely gotta come on and tell us what's going on because we've been too long. Yeah, I've told that story so many times before about that name, but it's one of those things that yeah you just can't tell the story enough, and it is what it is. But I'm trying to separate myself from that and trying to be more professional.
Yeah, Wilson
Wilson
Audio Labs.
Audio
But then you're
Labs.
right, do a bump dough.
Exactly.
That's what this like. You
So
can't.
am I making any sense here? I don't think so.
That's how we do, man. We're enigmas wrapped inside of a paradox.
That's deep.
Yeah.
That's real deep.
Uh,
Oh, kicker solo. Oh, you just clicked one too. Did I click the wrong one?
I think you clicked the wrong one,
Kicker solo X reviews coming soon.
dude.
Dude,
I haven't talked to Kip since the stream.
yeah. That was a long stream, by the way. If you
Oh
guys didn't
God,
notice, we were in there for almost 6 hours.
dude, I was wiped out. Like the next day, I was literally wiped out. I think I slept. I normally sleep in on weekends anyways because it's the only time I can. But I normally wake up at least at like 9. I think I slept till 11 that day.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was overstimulation to the max too because it was all so cool and the way they did the production with the commercials and just the flow of
Hmm.
everything until they got to the point where we came on and they had that feedback issue. It was like, man, this was so cool, but it was definitely too long, and that's the feedback I gave them. Okay, Dual Electronics, whose brands include Dual, Jensen, etc. Oh, okay. So any of you guys on here who have seen or tried out that new Jensen 10-inch floating head unit that actually has a CD, DVD player, and everything in it. It's like $400. I need to know. It's got Apple CarPlay. It looks like the ticket from my Accord, so I needs to know if it's any good. So somebody let me know. And while we're talking about, I'm gonna try to pull it up in another screen here, Rob, so I
Would
can
that
show the peeps what I'm talking about.
would that block your AC controls?
It would, but I don't
I
even
almost
care.
bought one
I don't
for
even
the
care.
Trooper.
It
I
can
was
block
gonna
them.
yeah block them.
It just
No
looks
way,
too
man.
cool, man. I'm
It's too
sorry.
freaking hot. Like yeah, I don't know, man.
There's AC controls on either side of it. And I figure if you angle them enough, it'll go around the head unit
One
somehow.
oh
I'm gonna look it
man.
up real quick, but I'm gonna share my screen as soon as here we go. Jensen Mobile. It even knows. See, Google knows what I'm searching for, and here it is, right here on the front of the screen. The Car 8000. Y'all got to check this out if you haven't seen it yet. Let's see, screen 2. And let me get rid of that. Let's go full screen. Have
Oh,
y'all seen this right here? Check that out. It
I don't
has,
like the bottom though.
yeah, but see, this is where thank you for the volume knob so I don't have to
Yeah.
push up and down on stuff. So I like that fact. It's only a single din, and then it just kind of, well, I don't know if they got any side pictures of it. It doesn't look like they do because it just, but I mean, it literally floats in front,
Yeah.
and it's got all those controls. And yeah, they don't. Why don't they show a side pic of it? Let's see if they do here. But I need to know if anybody has tried this because I
I'm
want
afraid
one.
I'm afraid to see. You know, sometimes Jensen does okay, but sometimes it's not so great.
Well, the screen unfortunately is not very high resolution, 1024 by 600. That's not great.
None of them are, even the expensive ones.
Right. Well, I
Hmm.
think there's like what one Kenwood that does a 1080p, but it's like a $1,600 head unit or something.
Yeah. I will say,
Uh,
like Jeff Smith, if you're watching, make sure D gets a high 10 so he doesn't put this freaking Jensen in his
oh, I
Accord.
could do that too, but man, I'm digging this. 3 pairs and people. Somebody's in there with the ice machine. Sorry about the noise. 3 pairs of 4-volt preamp outputs.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cool.
it's got a micro SD input, a
It
rear USB,
black.
front USB. Does FLAC? Yeah,
Yeah.
dude,
Oh.
I'm telling you. If this right here is all it's cracked up to be, then that's the ticket. I got
You
to
sh-
get one, but y'all got to
if you
tell
g-
me.
yeah, you got to put a Wilson Audio Lab sticker over that Jensen though.
You don't like that? You
No.
don't think that exudes high quality?
No.
You don't?
But Wilson Audio Labs does.
Hey, I saved when I took all the stuff out of the 37 Ford.
Yeah.
I saved the Sparkomatic logo that came off of one of the 6x9s. So I could just glue that on front or the Jensen.
Yeah, do it.
What do you think?
But well, I will say this does seem to ring true.
Friends don't let friends
This
on
is,
Jensen. Man, y'all are killing my dreams.
oh man. It,
You got so you got to think about this, right? We're in this weird transitional phase right now where there's not really any good head units anymore because all the newer cars are coming with all this fancy built-in, infotainment stuff. And those of us that have 10-year-old cars, we got to have something. And what y'all got? I mean, Singer's got a really nice head unit. Jensen's got this one. Tell me what else I can get, but don't make it have no push button for the volume because I'm gonna tell you no, that ain't gonna
yeah.
happen.
And the Stinger's not that. I think it's like 800 by
Yeah,
1080, something like that.
and it's like $800 too, so it's twice the cost of this.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to talk me out of it or try it and tell me how it is, or I might just try it because it's an expense for me to buy it and try it anyway. So then I'll let y'all know, and if it's good, then y'all can go
And
back
if
to
it's
your
bad,
holes.
if
If
it's
it's
bad,
bad, then you
you're gonna
can
see
just say,
Dick
"Told you
Rickless at the
so."
beginning of the video.
Told you so. What do you think a boat is? A nut? You nut? But man, that thing looks rad. I'm sorry. It just
Yeah, man,
does.
add it. Just add it. Let's see what it does.
So how is the Trooper build going?
It slowly, very, very slowly.
What we say is slowly but surely.
Yeah. Well, the back end's done. Everything in front needs to be done. So it's gonna be. I know that El Fuego, he is a Patreon subscriber, so he has seen some of it, and you will see more of it before everybody else. But everybody else, it's going to be months.
Months, people.
So there's the answer.
Y'all got to get on Patreon for HiFiVega so you can see.
Oh man, I forgot. RVH,
Oh,
he won the 905.
see, and we stay there for 6 hours and we can't win nothing because we were
Yeah,
guests. What's
I
up with
know.
that?
So that's why Kip, if you're watching,
Just playing with the
or
kid.
Bill, we need our solo X, bro.
That's right.
We need
You
to
gotta
have the
hook us
first
up.
one. Don't let Dean get the first one again.
Yeah, I
He
know.
totally
Dean
scooped
gets
us.
all the good stuff. He gets the quad box. He gets like the quad box
Yeah.
that was the personal one of Steve Irby, and somehow he gets it drop shipped to him.
Yeah.
And
And then he tries to break it. We're not going to try to break it.
yeah, he puts like 8,000 watts on that thing.
Oh.
uh,
I
I
heard Dean's like Beetlejuice. If you say his name 3 times, he pops up on the stream.
oh, did he pop up?
Not yet.
Oh,
I don't know if we've done our 3 times yet.
I haven't seen anybody pop. Talk about my Jensen yet. I don't think anybody knows much because I think it just came out, so I don't
Yeah,
think
I think it
anybody's got
did.
it. So I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna get it. I might order it tonight.
Oh.
I might be clicky right when we get off here.
You better wait till the Amazon affiliate money comes in, so you're not wasting your own cold hard cash.
That's true. What? That's the thing about this Jensen stuff, man. It's not on Amazon, so I can't
Oh
even
man,
use my benefits because it's like
maybe
Wally World.
they are owned by Walmart then maybe
Yeah, well
somehow.
they're only on Wally World for some reason. They're not. You can get them on eBay.
The Xera brand was sold by Crutchfield,
Crutchfield, yep,
so
exclusively, and they had some good deals on those
mhm.
too.
Yeah, I remember I bought one cheap and tested it,
Yeah.
and now it lives in my daughter's boyfriend's car.
Oh wow, your stuff
Oh,
gets spread out all over the place.
yeah, she's got a Prius, and she don't want me to put a system in it because she doesn't want to stop for 5 to 6 hours to have one hooked up.
Oh wow. So
Cannot be
what you
stopped.
have to do is you have to do it at night when she's asleep.
Yeah.
So you have to pull a few overnighters and get her a system installed when she's asleep. You can do it, man.
Yeah. I'll pass on that.
Ah, ooh. Those who are patrons know what Scott is talking about. Those who don't know, because
Yeah.
we did a behind the scenes like a week ago of this Rockford T 3000.2, and it'll hit the mainstream here coming up
Yeah.
maybe this weekend. But man, that amp is crazy.
Yeah. Don't even spoil it, man.
And
They need
I
to see it for
love the
themselves.
response from Rockford that I'm gonna be able to use too in the video, because my question is like, why would you have, this amp
Yeah.
and these results, and you got so many others, and I love their response. It was awesome. So
And who was it? Was it Eric Russell that
Eric Russell.
remember when I asked Kip if he would fist fight Eric Russell for the card? I
Yeah,
don't think Kip remembered who Eric Russell was.
I don't know. But that was epic. His response, because I mean, us being consumers, we don't always think about the manufacturer side. But his explanation was like, "Oh, that makes so much sense. Why didn't I think of that?"
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then John Myers basically called out every other amp.
He did. That was kind of unlike Kicker, that's usually kind of laid back and
Yeah.
buy it and be unimpressed for the rest of us. Y'all, what are y'all gonna do if it turns out to be the cat's meow?
They're gonna do like me with the K9.
Y'all gonna owe me.
No, they're gonna be like, oh, Big D, he loves his stupid Jensen.
What's wrong with him? We're not watching him
Yeah.
anymore. He likes crap.
Williston Jensen
Yeah,
Labs.
he's running K912s and a Jensen head
Uh,
unit, and I don't even know what kind of amps. Bully audio amps. We don't know what
yeah,
this guy's doing.
he's slaying the game.
B2, man, B2 is in with Steve Mead, and he
Yeah.
gets all the cool stuff from them. I can't afford their stuff, so and I think we've told this story before, but Rob and I try to test stuff that we can link to. And those of you who are manufacturers or who work for manufacturers that maybe listen to this, if you want us to test your stuff, you got to make it available to the people in a way that we can provide the links to the people, and we can get some kind of a, hey, I'm sending business to you, I'm gonna help you out. It doesn't mean that I've got to sell everyone that's sent to you, because that shouldn't matter, right? If I send
Yeah.
somebody to your store and say, hey, Rob's Auto Parts down here's got what you need, and if you walk into Rob's Auto Parts and don't buy anything, then that's on you, right? That's not on me. I sent you customer. So
Yeah.
that's why we try to do things where we can send people, and then we're still detached. So like,
Yeah.
if you buy something, that's great. If you don't, I don't care. But we got to have some reciprocity. You like that word?
Yeah.
It's deep. We're getting some big words
We've
now.
had that's the third big word
Y'all gonna
of
have to
the
bring out your thesaurus, if I can even spell
source.
it or
What other
pronounce it.
words could replace reciprocity?
I don't know.
Quid pro quo.
Yeah,
Okay. Let's go. Well, you guys leave them in the comments. What else?
yeah. Y'all. We might be getting a little deep.
Yeah.
See, we're we have
Yeah.
non-alcoholic drinks during our shows,
Yeah.
so we can
Yeah.
keep going on with
Not sponsored by Target Water.
sponsored by Lipton tea. And by the way, it's got to be sweet. Sorry, there is no other kind of tea.
There's
And
no
don't
other
tell me
tea.
what flavor. Sweet
Yes.
sugar is called sweet sugar.
Yeah.
I remember
And
the first time I
don't
went
try
up
to come over
north.
here with your hot tea, Craig.
That's
We
right.
ain't going with that, man.
That's right. You had to stick your pinky up. I remember the first time I went up north, and I think it was Ohio for a place I used to work for, and we went to a restaurant. And they, what would you like to drink? I said, you have sweet tea? And they said, what flavor? I said, sugar.
Yeah.
They said, nope. We got, what was it?
Green.
Strawberry and freaking, I don't even know, 3 or 4 different sweetened
Oh,
flavors.
yeah. They were doing the one like the dragon fruit when they were doing
Mm,
everything dragon fruit. Like what?
yeah, I'm like, no, just give me unsweetened and I'll use this,
Yeah.
packet of whatever stuff over here. But I had a hard time believing it. But then every time my boss would come down, we would go to a place and he would get the sweet tea because he liked it. I said, see, it's good.
Yeah. The sweet
But
tea, man. I mean, you
It's
can't go
all.
wrong with sweet tea.
No, you can't.
You can actually. I've made a horrible mistake. Have you ever tried McDonald's sweet tea?
Oh, it's through the roof
That's wrong.
sweet.
That's wrong.
They
You
put
can't go wrong with
they
that.
put 2 cups of sugar for every gallon,
Yeah,
and
that's
the good mix is just a little bit over 1 cup. Gives you just the sweet, but not too much. But yes, McDonald's and your other favorite Bojangles, they have got super sweet tea too. It's
oh
not as
you,
sweet as McDonald's, but it's
yeah.
close.
And I had sweet tea there too the last time we went because I seen you drinking the sweet tea, and I was like, well, Derek being a sweet tea connoisseur, this has to be pretty good.
Yeah,
But it was
it's
good.
it's pretty
But the
good.
McDonald's, I will say, like, I like Dunkin' Donuts sweet tea.
Now I never had their sweet
Dude,
tea.
their sweet tea is. I like my sweet tea like almost bordering on the edge of unsweet.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'll do like 1 cup, but I want to taste the tea.
I
My wife
gotcha.
wants to taste. She's McDonald's. I'm the other way.
Yeah, I'm kind of between the two. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, I've worked my way down to about 1 cup per gallon of sugar, which used to be to me it wasn't sweet, but now it's fine. But yeah, you're right. If you go to McDonald's and get it, just take a sip, and your whole head just feels like it's going to explode with all that
yeah.
rush of sugar.
It's like snow cone syrup.
Yeah.
Like tea snow cone syrup.
Now that is scary.
Oops.
Pumpkin spice sweet tea. I
Yeah.
don't think so.
Jason says, "What's up with all the brand bashing on Facebook groups? If you don't run a brand, and you're banned or
That
unfriended."
that that hasn't changed over the however
No,
many, what was it, 10 years we've been on Facebook? I don't even know how long it's been.
no.
And before that, it was the forums. It was the same thing. People are just so. It's the same thing with the thing we're not going to talk about tonight.
Yeah, that's exactly
People
where I was going. Like,
people are so, what I have or
tribal.
what I think or what my
Yeah,
idea is the only thing that can be. You
yeah,
can't have a thought. Sorry, that's not allowed.
yeah,
It's the same thing with everything. People just can't accept the fact that other people may not be like them. But
yeah,
that's still cool.
yeah. If you could just started off by, we both enjoy car audio. You like to blow my ears off with horn tweeters. I like to do dumb crap with canine subwoofers.
Yeah.
Hey, we can meet in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the big deal about it is, because it doesn't really do anything but hurt the industry when people are like that. But I understand in some ways, some places only sell certain brands and people are trying to, oh, my favorite store is Bob's Electronics. Just I'm picking on Bob. That's just a generic name, not really Bob. But Bob's Electronics only sells, Pioneer and Rockford. So that's the only brands I'm going to like. But there's so much good stuff out there. We talk about this a lot because Rob and I just we get a lot of different brands, and sometimes we get some crazy off brands like Bully. Who's heard of
Yeah.
Bully
Or Xera.
or Xera? I mean, yeah, all kind of crazy stuff. So I don't get the whole
No.
lockdown to certain brands. I don't get it. I figure you can give it a
Yeah.
lot of people. Now, granted, if you're not fortunate enough to be engaged with car audio to the point where you can buy different things and try different things, then I could understand if you have a good experience with a Rockford or a Kicker or an audio control or whatever brand that you had a good experience with. Then you kind of say, it's kind of like, I got a 2008 Honda Accord, great car, no issues. I'm a big Honda fan. I've always been a big Honda fan. So what do I do when I buy another car? I'll probably buy another Honda or another Toyota, something that I've had a good experience with. It's the same thing with the brands. People get really caught up into the brands, but there's a lot of good brands out there.
Yeah, and I done a whole on the talking about 12 days of streaming. I done the fanboys episode. There's a difference between a fanboy and just being a fan of a company that has treated you right. So,
Yep.
like you said, Rockford Fosgate, people's had good experience. They know if it says this on the box, it's gonna do what it says. Kicker's the same way. JL Audio is the same way. And those are some of the, JL Audio and Rockford are probably some of the biggest fanboy companies out
Yep.
besides the new ones.
Right. Yeah. So I don't get it. I know it happens, but I don't have any any allegiance to any specific brand.
Yeah.
Audio Legion 1600. Huh, 269. I'll look into that. Bass Junkie 2020. Thanks for that suggestion.
Yeah, and then the worst part about it is you get like there's like in this is all of the world now. There's like a really strong troll culture going on where people love to troll. Now me, like when you guys tease me about canine and stuff, I like that stuff. That's fun. Or like when we tease everyday audios, every time so Brett or T Face says something, I'll be like, who this? You know, I like that kind of stuff, but the actual troll and the hate and the vitriol, like that stuff, people gotta let that stuff go. It's not good for them, especially not them, but certainly not the other people that they're doing to either.
Oh, I can't wait till this comment comes through. If you can see it posted up for me. Only a fanboy for one thing: tacos.
Well,
That's the comment of the night.
that's a good one, man. I mean, it's hard to like. Who's got an argument against? Who in the chat has an argument against tacos?
Yeah,
I
for
would love to
sure.
hear it.
Up, somebody says tacos with extra cheese. So I
Uh,
guess maybe that could be a little better.
yeah, I mean, cheese on anything except for seafood is pretty good.
This is true. Cheese does make everything better. Oh, they're killing you with the CCA
Yeah,
stuff.
man.
Yeah,
Hey,
Alpine. Somebody made a comment. Alpine is not as popular as it was 10 years ago. Um, I think a lot of these companies are having to change to kind of mold to a business model where they can actually make money. I mean, Rob probably remembers back in a certain time period when Alpine head units were the best,
yeah.
literally the best. There's nothing better than an Alpine. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that's faded away. I honestly haven't used an Alpine in many years, so I can't.
I got one in the Trooper now, but it's an older one, so
Yeah,
it's been pretty solid. I will say that, like, I like Pioneer head units in general, but dude, the Pico Fuse thing it is, it is
yeah.
infuriating.
I had to get some of those off Amazon just because of the Pioneer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that does kind of suck. But
Wait,
even like the ADPRS, the freaking volume knob is
oh,
so
where it just
janky.
falls off every time you touch
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. And they could have really made that like a, like an aluminum volume knob and maybe charge $10 more for the head unit or something.
Yeah.
Waiting for the Savard amps.
Wait, does he have some inside information?
He must, because I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, we're pretty tight with those guys, and they hadn't said nothing.
Yeah. Soundstorm Laboratories head unit. Oh, please. Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, y'all laughing at me about Jensen. You talking about SSL? Y'all
Oh
have to wake me
man.
up to that because
Yeah.
those amps were, whew,
Chip amps, weren't they? Most of them.
they were bad. That's all I remember. Now, let me ask y'all something. And Rob, you and I didn't talk about this before. But has anybody watched any of the maxonic stuff on? They've been doing these live streams through, what is it called? SEMA Live or whatever. Have you
Yeah.
seen any of them? I started watching one last night, but I fell asleep. I didn't finish
I
watching.
only watched I only watched part of one, and it's because Brad Schultz posted something about he got kicked off the comments.
Yeah, I
So
saw
I was
that.
like, well, I'm gonna see what they said.
Well, when I was listening to it, I heard the guy talking about these new, Hyphonics, blah 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 amps, and with the super class D and the super bass and the super this. I'm like, what? Can somebody explain to me what super class D is?
Yeah.
Is that like
Didn't HiFiVega
better
start that?
than
Oh,
regular class
that's
D?
Maxonics, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm like super D.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like Class D but super,
I guess much
just
better
more
than regular
super,
class D.
more super. They
Anyway,
say go boom.
we all need to check that out, and we'll have to discuss it at a later date. But
Yeah,
I'll have to
we
get back through and watch some of them. Like I said, I only made it about halfway through one of them, and yeah, it was interesting to say the least.
yeah. I'm so behind on my regular YouTube videos that sometimes I don't got time to check out the random. stuff.
Right. Base head go boom. Shooting,
Appreciate it.
hitting us up with $9.99. You're rocking the house.
$10 holla.
$10.
Oh
When
man,
is the
Philip's on a
okay?
roll today. Philip is in rare form tonight.
So Fuego, next 12 volt talk show. So that's a good question because we're actually working on. We've got one already planned for next week. We're going to have a former Rockford Fosgate employee, and we're going to talk about some of the old days and how it is to work for a company that, you know, during what I'd call the peak of car audio, which was back in the 90s when, the stuff was made here in the US and you're actually involved in not only the competition scene, but you're involved with the installs and the RTTI stuff. Very interesting to me. Hopefully, it'll be interesting to
The
you guys
golden
too.
era.
The golden era, definitely. I mean, people can, people like Dean will say that today is better than back then. That's because the prices are much cheaper today. You get so much more for your money. I agree with that.
Yeah,
But I just think that, being an enthusiast like Rob and I are,
yeah,
working in a company like Rockford back in the 90s, that's just like, to me, it's like, dude, I got to understand if this is really as good as my mind tells me
yeah.
it is.
We can't discount the nostalgia. That plays a big factor in the whole old school thing for I would say just about all of us that are old school kind of fanatics. The nostalgia, man. It's even if it's not technically better, just let us think it's better in our minds.
Yes. Well, I mean, the resurgence of the BMX bikes, and we talk about it sometime here, but not much. But you guys who don't keep up with that or maybe weren't involved with that, you can't understand the price that some of these bikes are going for now that were big back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And the people that are now in their 40s and 50s that are paying big, I mean, we're talking $5,000 or more for these older bikes. It's like, what? I can go get a Geo Metro with a 5 speed for that convertible.
There's a guy at work that drives a 3-cylinder Geo Metro with a racing stripe on it.
Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking about. I used to work with a girl that had a Metro convertible. It didn't have a
Yeah.
racing stripe, but it had an automatic. I drove that thing one day. I'm like, oh my gosh, this thing is horrible. It had like 25 horsepower or something. I
Yeah.
think the Volkswagen Beetles from the old days had more horsepower than that thing. Thank
Oh, we didn't
you,
get to mention
sir.
this. Yeah.
Thank you. That was I didn't even I told Rob I was planning on taking the day off of work when that happened, but unfortunately it happened at a time when I couldn't take the day off. So I had to just kind of take it in myself. But I appreciate that. It's really unbelievable to me, how much the channel has grown, and I'd greatly appreciate all you guys for watching and
Yeah.
watching the videos and clicking to subscribe and sharing it and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I feel like cardio's growing, man. You've at 200, the Exos getting up there close to 500,000. Mark just passed half a
He
million.
sure did. And Mead's at almost eight. He's probably over 800,000 now. Last time I checked, he was like 790. So he's going to hit a million first. I have no doubt.
Yeah.
Um, I know at one time Exo and Mark both were climbing really fast, really quickly, really fast, really quick, really fast in a short amount of time. Um, and that doesn't make sense either. I'm just not making sense tonight. Sorry. They were
Quickly.
both gaining a lot of subscribers in a short amount of time. There you go. Sounds better. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really keep up with people outside of me, and I'll check Rob's stuff some too. Rob's getting close to 10K, so you guys need to share and hook him up so he can hit that, because that honestly is an acceleration point in my opinion. When you hit 10, it's like, I remember it took me forever to hit 10,000. Once I hit 10, it seemed like 20 was just hardly any time after that.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of get into some rhythm with that, with um, the recommendation engine and everything that Google uses and all that stuff that helps you out. I think at over 10,000, it puts you into a whole different level.
And I get nervous because as well as probably people watching, I like to be the guy in the back of the class. I like to comment from the back, the underdog spot.
Well, it starts getting scary when you know, you have to really think about it. I'm that way now. I try not to even think about it, but I have to think about it. I'm
Yeah.
getting deep
There's a
here.
level of responsibility once you get up to
That.
so many
And
subscribers. Yeah.
even when you make a video about something that's not good, you know, it's kind of like, gosh, this is really going to negatively impact people and possibly impact jobs and everything. You really have to, and everybody's like, oh, you have to tell us because we're the consumer. And I feel that way too because I'm a consumer. But then it's like, man, I don't know that I can just, I don't know. It definitely sticks in your head and is an area of contention. But I try to be as real as I can in what I do. And Rob is the same way. We just try to be real for you guys. You know, we don't do sponsorship stuff right now. I don't know that how that may change in the future or whatever,
Yeah.
but we've always been very open with you, everyone, saying if we're going to do that, then we'll let you know. We've been sent products before, but to me, that's not a sponsorship because,
Nope.
you know, I'm providing advertisement for people when I make a video. So in some cases, I'm buying it and giving them free advertisement. How fair is that? So if they send me something, to me, I don't owe them anything even when they send it to me because I don't care. I send it right back.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't give me anything because I don't need another amp. I don't need another
Yeah.
subwoofer. But you know, I just think that the transparency that we provide and not being bought and all that stuff should mean something to you guys because I don't think that that's, you know, equal across the board. And if you guys ever watch, was it Project Farm? Rob, is that the guy
Yeah.
that tests all the
Mm-hmm.
does all the independent tests? He doesn't take any kind of sponsorship. He's got over 1 million subscribers, but he buys all the stuff and he does all these different comparisons on saws and batteries and gosh, just I don't even
Windshield wiper blades was his
yeah,
latest.
everything. But his videos are so good. They get kind of geeky at times, and I feel like it
Yeah.
sometimes he doesn't spend enough time giving his recommendation. Like he spends a lot of time with the data,
Yeah.
talking about each data point, but then he doesn't really get. And at the very end, he'll usually say, "Well, if you know got just a little bit of money, go for this one. If you want the best, go for this one." But I don't know. To me, it
Yeah.
seems like it could be a little bit better with that. But I mean, obviously, I shouldn't be saying that because he's doing way better than I am, and
Yeah.
I'm sure he's doing it for a living, and he's doing all right. So
And he reaches a much broader audience than we do.
he
So
does. He does a
yeah.
lot of different areas. He does tools. He does, you know, electronic batteries. I don't know what other kind of electronic stuff he's done, but he does a lot. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, Project Farm freaking rocks. That is for sure. Scotty Kilmer.
Oh
Scotty
man.
Kilmer is coming to the end every time I
Yeah.
see a video for him. Oh, this is it. It's
Yeah.
end of the world. Last video, they're buying my house. They're selling.
He's the number one clickbait
He
king.
is, and he even laughs about it because he tells you he's like, well, I just do that to get people because they need to see my videos because I talk
Yeah.
about cars and tell them what to buy. And he gets mad at people for buying Chryslers and stuff. He's like, you're buying
Yeah.
junk. It only lasts 80,000 miles and the thing's gonna fall apart. But
He's not lying.
he's not really. I mean, honestly, to hate him as much as you can,
Yeah.
he's not owned by anybody either. He's independent.
Yeah.
He tells it like it is. He works on all these cars. He knows which ones are any good and versus which ones are not. But he even pick on the Hondas and Toyotas when they have problems. Like he talked
Yeah.
about the Honda with the AC. It has a shaft they changed the diameter of it from like your index finger size to like the size of a pencil. And he's like they would just shear off. The shaft would just shear off when you were driving. He said it was just a
Dang.
horrible engineering design. But yeah, that's off topic and going down a rat
All right.
hole.
Should we end it? Because I've got some YouTube talk, some car stuff to talk about in the after
Oh,
show.
oh, after show. All
Yeah.
right. What?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, we're. Oh man, we're already over an hour.
Yeah.
We threw this one together pretty well for it not having a topic and being
No.
episode Yo Mama. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
good.
know.
Because I was
That's
hoping you would
class.
notice
That's
it.
classic Big D.
Yeah, yeah. We gotta have some fun.
Yeah. The movie you made last week.
Well, those who don't know, and this is an inside tip too, and people, oh, the editing was fantastic. That was so crazy. iMovie, people. If you have an iPad, an iPhone, you have something called iMovie. It's free. they have this thing within iMovie called trailers. You literally just drag little things into the spots. That's what I
Yeah.
did. And I changed the text. Wow, it looks so cool. But I don't know that I can take all the credit for that. Give it to iMovie. But hey,
Oh,
if you don't, too
yeah.
lazy to look it up and don't want to do it and just give me credit, that's fine.
Yeah. Take all the credit,
Chris
man.
Chris Fix
Yeah,
is
we love Chris Fix too.
he rocks it, boy. He put some time. You can't tell, but his 30-minute videos, I'm sure he invests
Hmm.
weeks of time
That's
into
why he
those
does a
30-minute
couple a
videos.
month at most.
But he gets the views,
Oh
man. He
yeah,
gets the huge
he's
views.
doing it right.
He's doing good. All right, so let's end this episode for 12. Did we ever figure out what episode it was?
It's 80, 80, 80.
80x
Whoa.
or 8x. This is episode Yo Mama
Yeah.
from November the 4th, the day after the election here in the U.S., and we didn't talk anything about it, and we're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
So y'all
Yeah.
check us out, as always, youtube.com/12etalk. You can check us out on 12volttalk.com or 12vtalk.com. It'll send you all to the same place. And we also have our podcast put onto Apple Podcast, Spotify, and then what's the Google one called now, Rob? Is it actually called Google Podcasts because they don't call it
I,
Google Music or something?
you
They
know
don't have
what? I
changed it.
didn't transfer all that stuff. Remember we
Oh,
talked about
we
that?
never transferred it.
We'll see.
Oops.
I
We
think
need to.
I think they do it for us automatically,
Yeah,
but we'll
we need
see.
to look into that and see.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, thanks you guys as always for watching, and a quick extra shout out to Bass Junkie 2020 shooting us up. He's still trying to get me to test the Audio Legion. I hear
Yeah.
you, brother. I can't see the button. You'll have to click it, Rob, to get rid of that one.
Oh, okay.
It's
Okay.
hidden behind my camera.
There you go.
Anyway, thank you guys as always for watching. We will be back next week with a former Rockford employee, and we'll talk about what it was like to be a Rockford employee in the 90s. And it'll just be a lot of fun. Hope you guys will join us. So we'll be here again same time next week. Rob, tell them how to find you. Check me out at wilsonaudio.com. Rob, where are you at?
Yeah, we got some ladies coming on too soon enough. We're scheduling that, but you can find me HiFiVega.com. Takes you to my YouTube page, and or reversepolarity.com. That's the show I do with Dean tomorrow night, 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern. Join us for some more car audio nonsense, but really it's half not car audio nonsense. So good time.
Good stuff. Yeah. And more videos coming y'all's way. So get ready for more canine goodness from
Yeah.
Hi-Fi
And if
Vega.
we get 5,000 likes on that last video or 5,000 views, 500 likes, I test them for 5 minutes and I give one of them away.
Wow, that's a deal.
I might even sign my name on it to devalue it.
Whoa.
That way
you
you
do
can't
like the J and the
Yeah.
P. No, don't do the
Yeah.
J.
That way you can't sell it afterwards. They'll be like, I don't want that. Some dummy wrote his name on there.
All right, y'all. We will check you next week. If you're here on YouTube, hang around with us for the after show. And if you're listening to the podcast and never watch us on YouTube, join us one night live if you can. And you can hang around for the after show where we talk about nonsense like BMX and all kind of other things that a lot of people don't care about. So till next week,
We out of here.
we out of here. See ya.
Bye.
Later. Howdy.
Yeah. We're never coming back. We are never.
All right.
Oh.
What we got here. So what are you going to tell us about in the after show?
Okay.
We're all like on the edge of our seat.
Did you guys ever? I know that you might have because I know you like Motor Trend TV. So did you ever watch like the Power Block on what was it, TNN?
Oh, TNN and then TN.
Dude,
Yes.
They're putting all those on YouTube now.
Mm.
Full builds. So like, remember how he had to? It took like 10 years to watch Stacey David build something.
Yes.
The full builds are online now in one video.
Oh, are they on the Motor Trend YouTube channel or something else?
They're on the Power Block TV YouTube channel.
Oh, wow.
And it's freaking awesome. They're like an hour and 40 minutes of no commercial, just boom, 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 boom.
That is sweet. You know what? I think one of his videos popped up, and it may have been Power Block TV, but it was him doing something to a
Project Copperhead's on there.
It was
That's
Jeep.
a popular one.
He did like one of the old Wagoneers or something. He was souping it up for off road.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, I remember this from 10 years ago, or maybe even more. It might have been the mid '90s when I was watching some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But oh, that's cool. Power Block TV. We'll
Yeah, man.
have to check that.
I've been just down in those episodes. Also, they put Chappelle's Show on Netflix, so
Oh, yes, they did.
I go back through 'em. Had I watched it last night. I watched the Charlie Murphy episodes again.
What's the date? Today's the 4th.
Yeah.
November, I think it's 13th. The The Ride is what it's called. The BMX
Oh,
movie about
dude.
John Bulgens.
I didn't even know about it till you told me. Then I got hyped, and then like nothing happened.
Well, they were supposed to release it in the theater, but they're
Larry
going
Keller's right. I think it's called Power Nation now.
Power Nation. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to check and see. The Ride
Yeah, show that
movie.
trailer. Jesse's talking about the Mandalorian. I'm waiting. I don't want to get Disney Plus until they have like 4 or 5 episodes out, but I'm definitely gonna watch that. Gotta watch it.
Yeah, I don't know that we can actually show the trailer here because of
Yeah,
the
probably not.
copyright stuff. But it's called. See, now they call it Ride instead of The Ride. But let's see. I'll post the link down in the chat so you guys can check it out yourself.
You know
But
the answer to
it
this
it
question?
looks really good. Paste. I just sent you the link. What's the question?
What did the 5 fingers say to the face? Slap. You don't remember that from the Chappelle Show? The Rick James episodes?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude, you gotta watch them. It's like season 1, episode 7 and 8, I think. Yeah.
I'll have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, don't let the little one watch it. But
Yeah, I got that. I got that. Did any, so we're not talking politics, and this is not politics itself, but I was watching Joe Rogan's live stream last night.
dude, he had like how
He
many people did he have
had
viewing?
almost 700,000
He
live
had more than
views.
NBC, you said, right?
He did. Well, Fox News had 247,000 at the time when he had like 577,000. So he had more than double a network on YouTube. And yeah, it's crazy. I didn't check all the other ones, but his was way high. And people were going crazy asking. I guess Alex Jones said that he was going to be on there, but he never came
Oh,
on.
and then
But
I think
he was
I
on the
would listen to
Drunk
that episode.
Brothers
He's
or
like, "Quit
something.
inviting yourself. You're not going to be on it."
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened with that. I think they tried to I don't know. I think he's got to be real careful with Spotify, because that's a
Oh
hundred
yeah,
hundred million dollar deal he did with Spotify.
yeah.
But he also had Alex Jones on what was it, a week ago or a week and
Hmm.
a half ago, something like that.
That's what I was
And
saying. I was listening to that, and that's what Alex Jones said. I'm coming on. He's like, "I didn't invite
yeah,
you. Like,
well
quit
they were
inviting
they were
yourself."
they were like fact checking everything he was saying, trying to be extra cautious and
Yeah,
everything, and they were finding out that a good percentage of the things he was saying had some truth, but again, you have to watch how far that you stretch
yeah,
one little sliver of truth in the stretch. And the guy's entertaining,
yeah,
I guess, Alex Jones is, but he
yeah.
gets off on tangents, and I think he's
Well,
lost a lot of brain cells.
yeah, and he says some very
Yeah,
dangerous things at times. Not always, but
he
sometimes.
does. Yeah, so Glenn Beck had over 400,000, somebody posts, and
Wow.
Steven Crowder had 500K. Man, YouTube that's crazy.
You remember Horsepower TV? That was my favorite part
Yeah.
of the Power Block,
Oh yeah.
probably. What were those guys' names?
Well, Stacy,
Joe.
Joe, and then Stacy David was on a bunch of them. He
Yeah,
was
he was
on
on
the
Trucks
trucks.
originally, and then he went to. He's got his own channel now. I don't watch it that much. I should though.
Yeah, the
It's
movie
the
is actually
trucks.
called The Ride. But anyway, it's coming out. It's coming out on Amazon Prime, and I think it's the 13th because Amazon bought the rights. They were trying to get it in the movie theaters, and they've been trying, like, because it originally came out in 2018 is when it was supposed to be released, and they kept trying to get somebody to distribute it, and they got to the point where they're getting ready to distribute it, and then COVID hit. If
Yeah.
you ever, it's really good if you guys are anything interested in BMX. The 80, what they call it, big bike BMX guys. It's his name's, one of them's Isaac and the other one is Craig. They interview John Bulgens, and to me he's like one of their best interviews they've done because John is just so engaging. He's one of
Yeah.
those people that you get on the show and you know they can just pretty much run it themselves because they're so interesting in the stories they tell and everything. But he was talking about it and about all the things they were trying to do to get it on and get it in a theater. And he's like, yeah, we had a plan to get it into the theater. And then COVID hit and it's like it shut down that. And he's like, then Amazon bought it. And that was great, but he still wanted it to be in a theater. But I'm sure they
Yeah.
made a good amount of money off of it. But for him, I don't think it was about the money because it's his life story. It's based on his life story. And he actually plays the bad guy. He plays his real dad
Oh
who
yeah.
was abusive to him and everything. And he said that was really difficult too. But uh,
Think it'll be as good as Lords of Dogtown.
I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen the Lords of Dogtown?
No,
Dude, you got homework. You have to watch that movie. You can watch that one with the family.
the
It's about
Lords of Dogtown. That's right.
Stacy Peralta and all the guys that started the skateboarding
Oh,
in California.
oh, what
It's
is
a
it on? Is it
it's
on
I'm gonna
Prime or
look it up
something?
right now. You got
The
there it is. Just
Lords of
watch.
what?
Lords of Dogtown.
Of Dogtown.
Yeah, you'd really dig that movie. Came
Um,
out in 2005.
okay, I'll put it on my list.
It's on Fubo.
What in the heck is Fubo?
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's about Jay Adams, Tony Alva, Stacy Peralta.
Rad.
Yeah.
Rad was on yesterday. Yep, I got the 4K Rad right here.
Oh yeah. Oh man, you seen how Chris McMurtry? He's been in contact with him, meeting up and stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still. Well, I ain't gonna pull it out, but it's in here, sealed up.
Oh man.
These
If
things
I
were
if
going for like 250 on eBay. I paid $40 for it.
yeah, I
I
need
ain't all
to.
about making money on stuff like that. I'm not one of those price gouging people.
We gotta watch it. We gotta watch it.
I'm gonna watch it.
Wait a minute. All right, let me pop this up and then we'll go back to the question.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Well, was it Amazon Prime? I think you have to buy it though. Or is it on Prime where it's free if you're a Prime member?
Oh, it probably is on Prime, but
It's
you have
one of
to
the
pay for it.
yeah, it's one of the ones you have to pay for. I think.
Yeah,
Let me
see,
look.
Nick Fountain says Lords of Dogtown was good and he didn't even skate.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's a good
y'all
one.
got me then. I'm gonna have to check that out.
Um, Never been a kicker person, but the new Solo X looks like an enthusiast subwoofer for sure. The Solo X, I guess we should have talked about it during the stream, but I'm totally jazzed. Especially like if that thing sounds good on music on a reasonable amount of power, like 1,000 watts. Yeah, it's
You know they're not gonna release something that's not gonna be that way. Yeah, Rad, you have to rent it for $4.99 or buy it for $7.99 on
he
Amazon.
said
Yeah, it is. It is pretty bad.
it's a bad movie, man, but I
It's
still
bad.
love it.
That's why I'm hoping this ride movie is going to be much better.
Yeah,
Because yeah, I mean, like everybody says, the first 5 minutes of Rad and then the end. You know, when they do the after
yeah,
credits and they're riding on the beach and stuff and on the ramps. That's our favorite part.
yeah. And well,
BMX Bandits is not good either. I don't think somebody posted that. I started watching it and I
yeah.
couldn't even make it through that.
My favorite part of Rad was what's her name?
Gloria Loughlin.
Aunt Becky.
Yeah.
What? How now she was in Full House?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was funny to me when they were getting those parts where they were starting to ride downhill, and it was like you could tell neither one of them knew how to ride a bike because they couldn't even hardly balance. And it's like
Yeah,
they do these people ever ride bikes because they just look like they were so uncomfortable. But yeah, flatland videos when you're 26. Yeah,
oh man,
I just don't want to hurt myself because I'm feeling like I'm breaking an ankle or something. But I do want to do
easy.
some rad tricks. There, I'm
Being
surprised more the companies haven't come out with the 29s because SE bicycles, every time they release a Fat Ripper or whatever they call them, those things sell out like instantly.
the 29s are huge, aren't they?
Yeah, it's pretty, but for us, it's comfortable. I mean,
Yeah,
if you're 6 foot plus and 200 plus pounds,
yeah.
don't try to get on a 20-inch bike.
Well, I seen was it the 29-inch that I seen you on? I was like, that even looked big even for you.
Yeah, the 29s are pretty big, but they're comfortable. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't. It's hard to jump them and stuff, but I mean, who's jumping?
yeah.
Ride a wheelie and
I ain't jumping.
yeah. I mean, hello, we're not 12 anymore.
Yeah. Oh man,
The guy crew from Rad can shred.
Crew
I
Jones.
I think I told the story here too, but I won't tell it again because I repeat myself a lot in life. That's just me. Get over it. But back in oh gosh, it had to have been the early to mid 2000s. I was on one of the forums about BMX. I think it was BMX Museum or something like that. And that's when I was moving and I had all these BMX parts and stuff, and I was looking for people to see if anybody was interested in buying. But one of the guys on there was interested in digitizing a lot of the older tapes and stuff that people had.
Yeah.
So him and I actually worked together, and we digitized like 40 or more tapes over to, back then it was to DVD, but you had to convert it to the computer first. It took a lot of hard drive space, and I've got a lot of that stuff still stored on a hard drive. But man, just going through some of those old videos, it was so cool to see that stuff again. And because man, we
Yeah.
used, back then
That's
all
cool
you
that
had
your
is,
dad had a camera back then and you were able to record a lot of it.
yeah, we had a lot of us. Well, we had a lot overwritten too, because if you remember back then, the VHS tapes were
Expensive, yeah.
expensive. And if you wanted to record something on TV, then sometimes it's like, well, do I want to have my bike riding or do I want to record the Dukes of Hazard tonight? I'm
Yeah.
a record Dukes of Hazard. So we've been through them, and a lot of them I'm sure have been overwritten. So it's unfortunate because we had probably some other cool stuff. But yeah, I've got probably an hour, 2 hours worth of boring videos of me riding, but I think it's fun.
Yeah. Put it
But we
on
don't have any of our
YouTube.
track, which I hate because we had a whole track in my backyard with
Yeah.
jumps and a starting gate and all that stuff. And we were kind of out of it by the time my dad got the big camcorder that goes on your shoulder.
Yeah.
So before that, all we had was the little 8 millimeter one, the one that took the rolls. And it didn't do audio too. It just did video, and it was only
Yeah.
4 minutes per roll.
Was it the
And then my
Super 8?
yeah, the
Yeah.
Super 8, and my brother put them in his attic in his garage, and we pulled them down and sent them off to get them converted, and they were all like completely washed out because the film had been ruined. So we didn't get any of that footage.
That
Ugh.
sucks. Yeah, that's great. We had a jump. It was an abandoned construction site, and it was very dangerous across this highway to get to the jumps in the first place. Like, if my mom actually knew that that's how we were getting there, I don't think we would have been able to go. But it was, I think it was like 38th Street or 78th Street jumps, what we called it, is abandoned construction site. It had a bunch of big holes. We turned one into, a half pipe, and then we had some. What all did we have? We had a berm, and we had the what are those called? The the little bunch of little bumps. I forget what they're
The
called.
moguls.
Maybe I've never heard that term, but the little dipty doo things.
Yeah, there's a lot of different terms for them. I think we
Yeah,
call them moguls, but
I've
yeah,
seen.
they're the ones that you had a bunch of them all in a row.
Yeah, I've seen probably like 3 or 4 people break their collarbones on those specifically. I I thought I died on that on the half pipe. We converted. We was like, well, we started with 12 or 6 inches of vertical right at the end. We're like, well, we should go to 15 inches so we can get higher. I was the first one to do it on a GT Performer, a heavy GT Performer, landed flat on my back, and the bike landed on me.
Oh,
I laid like I couldn't even talk for a couple minutes. I just laid there. They were like,
ouch.
"Should we go get your mom?" I was like, "I think I'll be okay." Finally,
I think I'll live. I think I'll live. I'm about to
yeah,
die.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
It,
man.
I mean, it wasn't as. I guess it was a little bit worse than slipping a bear trap pedal. That was also really brutal. Although I couldn't
Yeah,
afford the bear traps, I had the bear claws, which I can't
yeah,
even
me
remember who
too.
made bear
I had the
claws.
cheapy ones, whatever they were. It was, yeah, it was just so expensive to buy any of that bicycle stuff back then. I don't know why. I was trying to find something, but I'm just having a hard time finding
Yeah,
anything tonight.
Base Hagaboon said whoop de doos. I
Whoop,
think we
yeah,
might
well,
have.
that's another
Yeah, I
word
think that's
for
what
it.
we called them. Yeah.
Whoop de doos. I don't see my BMX folder. I thought I had some pictures on here, but I don't. I can't find them. It's all right. It's all good.
Yeah, there was a lot of broken bones at the 38th Street Drumps. We we he talked about the mushroom grips. What did you? I just use hair. We use like Aquanet to put on our grips. What did you use?
Yeah, any kind of hairspray worked fine.
Yeah,
If you were if you're dumb enough to try WD-40, then they would never stick. They just always be.
I think people weren't people just telling people that to troll them,
I think
like
so.
old style
Probably.
trolling.
You
Because
remember
I
the
remember people telling me that, and I was like, I'm not doing that.
remember the mushrooms were always my favorite grips, but
Yeah.
the end of them was soft. So when you laid your bike down, it would always puncture through and a hole would
Mm.
come through. And then people figured out you could put a quarter on the inside of the mushroom grip, and then when you slid it on, it would act as a
Barrier
stop for
between
the
it.
for the end of the handlebar. Of course, now they've got the things that you hammer on to the end, the little plastic
Caps.
little caps that go in. But back
I didn't know
then,
that.
it's like, man, a quarter. Who would have thought?
Back in the
Quarter.
day, you weren't cool unless your grips were ripped on the
That's
end.
true. That's true. But I still, I mean, they and ODI still makes those grips to this day. You can still
Do
buy
they?
them.
Are they the same exact way
Yeah,
they used to be?
sure are.
I was a Pistol Pete guy,
Okay.
but yeah, the mushroom grips were cool too.
Yeah, what was the other one? The Amy, AME
Hmm.
grips, and Oakley. Remember
And
Oakley
what?
had grips, the
Yeah,
B1Bs, and the ones where you could change out the little insert because they had the ones that had the like that came on the hutch. The Oakley B1Bs came on the hutch. They were expensive.
what the GT branded ones were pretty popular too.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Everyone would get them. They'd be riding Redline with GT branded grips.
Yep. That was a wrong thing to do. Yeah, it was almost like if you got a red line, you had to get the Peregrine mags. If you got
Yeah,
a hutch, you had. I mean, everything kind of had to fit together. It's kind of like a car stereo
yeah.
system. You couldn't run a K9 and a Jensen amp. They just wouldn't work together.
I
Or
wanted
maybe you could.
the one bike that if I was gonna buy a bike and actually spend some money on it would be an Elf because that's the one bike I never got as a kid that I always wanted.
They were cool.
Yeah,
The guy that used to come over and ride on our track was it's funny because he worked at a grocery store at the time, and he had a Porsche 944. We worship this dude. He's got a red Porsche. He's
yeah.
got a 24-inch Elf, like a
Oh
cruiser,
dang, dude.
and we're like, this dude, I want to be like him one day. He was like our idol, and he would come over and ride, and yeah, that was a very cool bike.
Yeah, the Elves they were super dope.
Yep, they were definitely super dope.
Neighbor had a Haro. I didn't know it was equal or cheap. It was equal to Redline, if not even better. A Haro.
Yeah, the Haros and the Red Lines were pretty close. I think the Diamondbacks were a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, Mongoose was cheaper a little
Mongoose
bit.
was a cheaper. What was
And then
it? The
Huffy made
Scott
a pro line. Remember
they
that?
did, but that's hard to change people's mind
Yeah,
after you've been to cheapy the whole time. You're trying to come up with something. Yeah, you can't step up. You can step down, but you can't step up. Because Hutch did. Hutch had
yeah.
that fancy Trickstar that's so expensive. Then he came out with a Wind Styler. I'm like, And I
Yeah.
guess you can do that and go cheap, but I always thought Hutch was like the high end stuff.
I wasn't always fat, RVH. I... oh man. Yeah, Huffy. I remember the pro bikes when they were getting into racing pretty good. I thought they were pretty cool, but yeah, they were too expensive.
My dad had a C-band satellite dish with, anybody knows what that is. It's like a 10-foot satellite dish like the ones they'd have on top of buildings to pick up the all the different satellites and stuff up in the sky, but he would never put a motor on it because he didn't want us finding the Playboy channel. But anyway,
You guys could still crank it over there by
exactly,
hand.
we could go out there and crank it.
Yeah.
But anyway, he would always find, like, Canada. They had some Canadian channels on there, and they would have BMX races up in Canada, and we'd be able to record some of those. And I've got some of those on tape too. Um, that was cool. But yeah, any of that stuff, you guys just have to imagine not having the stuff at your fingertips like we have now.
Yeah.
Being able to just go search for YouTube and find all this stuff. Back then, it was like, it was so hard. If you had it, it was like gold.
Yeah.
You watch that tape over and over and over again. And
Yeah, you shared it it's like with video games when you found out a code or someone found out like, hey, up, up, down, down, left, right. You see that in a magazine, it spreads on the school.
yep, everybody wanted to do it. Or if you ever made it to fight Mike Tyson and Punch Out,
Yeah.
then you'd have to share your little code that you could go straight to Mike Tyson.
He said I wasn't either, but I snapped a kid's elf jumping it too high. His mom was
Oh,
pissed.
oh yeah, that's not good.
Oh man, that's funny. Oh.
Yeah, if you once you figured out Mike Tyson's moves and you could beat him.
Oh
Oh, hot
yeah.
rod. Yeah, hot rod. It's still hot and it's a rod.
Yeah.
It works. It drives. It's just in progress.
Yeah.
And I didn't have much progress,
Progress
unfortunately.
has slowed.
Yeah. Trust me. If I could have a few months and work on nothing but that, then I could finish it. But it's gonna be some time because I'm gonna have to get things done and do things when I can. And I work a full time job plus have a full time YouTube thing plus have a full time family. I can only do so much. But I
Part
do,
time to family, bro. Just part time to family.
yeah. Or just quit the day job.
I bet you if we had Mike Tyson's Punch Out, I bet you I could still, within 2 or 3 tries, make it to the end.
Yeah,
Because I remember almost
I
all
remember
the
all,
little.
all the tricks.
Yeah.
Well, have you got one of the little NES classics? Because it's on
No.
there.
I thought about buying one. I thought about streaming on Twitch with one.
Or you can just get a $35 what they call Raspberry Pi, and you can get the software and you can load all the games on it. You just have to get your controller.
Yeah.
You can do that. I've got one set up and I played it a little bit. It's
Soda
pretty fun.
Popinski.
Soda Pop, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, who was it?
Fat guy in the stomach. There was that
The
bald bull.
second piston Honda guy always give me
Oh, he
trouble.
was hard. He done the karate chop too.
Yes,
Yeah.
the first piston Honda
He'd
was
come up
easy,
there.
but the second time he came, it's
Yeah.
like, dude, this dude is kicking my butt. But yeah, all
Yeah.
the other ones, they had the one little thing, like the dude that you punch in the stomach when he lift his hands
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
That was a
fat
good
guy in the
game.
stomach. That's it.
Yeah.
Nick said it. Yeah, it's fun stuff. But if you watch any of the YouTube stuff, there's guys now that that show how to do all that and bring back all those games. But geez, I don't know how much free time people have, but you can waste a lot of time playing those old games.
King Hippo. That's what that was his
That's his
name.
name. Yep,
Yeah.
King Hippo.
I was thinking Bald Bull's somebody.
Raging Bull, right?
Was it Raging Bull?
I think it was Raging Bull.
Who was the very racist character of the Indian guy?
Uh,
Looking back on it, we didn't What
Yeah,
was
he was
his
the one
name?
that would shake his head and the little
Yeah, yeah.
thing up here would flash, and that's when he would disappear, and you had to. I can't remember his name.
Wait, Mr. Sandman. That was originally Mike Tyson, right? But remember they changed it
Uh,
because the Mike Tyson
I
rape
think
stuff.
didn't they change it afterwards? So
Yeah,
didn't they have the
afterwards.
Mike Tyson punch out first, and then they switched it just to punch
Yeah,
out after he went through all that
it was Punch Out, and then it. I think the Mike Tyson character was Sandman.
Sam? Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Oh, okay, Tiger something.
yeah,
I remember
Tiger. Yeah, that was it. Tiger.
Mr. Wonderful. Man, I need to play. I haven't played that game in forever. I want to
I
play
don't.
Excite Bike too.
Oh yeah, I never got into Super Punch Out. I never even got into SNES that much. It was once NES ran out for me. I'm trying to remember. Well, I don't remember. We
I
didn't
kind of
play.
skipped Super Nintendo as well, and then the 64. I got back into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't play much of the Nintendo 64 either. Some of my friends in college had it. And we played. What was it? The 007 one was pretty fun because you could do it with multiple people.
Yep. Oh,
GoldenEye or
that's what
whatever.
literally almost got in fist fights over 007
Yeah,
because you could
that's.
plug in 4 controllers,
Yep. That was
and
fun. I mean, the only
one
thing you
guy.
have to remember, the TVs were small back then, and when it broke the screen out into four parts, you like
Well, what
nowadays it'd
happened?
be fun because you could have actually have your own little quadrant.
You got the one friend that he picks the bombs with the watch thing, and the little pistol.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he sets traps for you, and then he gets you all in there and blows you up.
Yeah,
And
that's
then you
that's
just throw
that's
the
fist
controller.
fighting times.
Let's fight. Man. Let's see if you could do that in real life. Oh man,
Yep, it's fun stuff. All right, guys.
good
Oh,
times.
that's not good. NES Classic can try to upload more games, only to turn it on and it shows the pic with no game. Yeah, you got to check
Oh,
that out again, Jason, because there's so many different ways to hack that. I think even if you mess it up, you can reflash it so that you can get it to work again. I think the guy that I watch is ETA Prime on YouTube. He does a lot of that stuff. Anywho, all right.
yeah,
Well, it's past my bedtime.
yeah,
What
mine
time
too.
is it? Well, good thing about it is tomorrow's Thursday, so
Yeah,
getting close to the end of the week.
almost.
All right.
Almost.
Well, thank you guys for hanging around.
Oh, he
Stop
yawned.
yawning. We will catch y'all next week with a guest from Rockford, and then, like Rob said, future show we were gonna have some ladies of car audio to get some different input from the other side, I guess you'd say, or
Yeah.
I
We
don't know how
logged
you'd.
off. We're logging off as Kip's logging in.
Yeah, go figure. All right, we will catch y'all next week. Thanks for joining us.
Later.
Later.